Hey,
Hey,
it's that time.
yes,
It's that time. It's that time. Welcome, 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 you guys. Come on in. Come on in.
welcome.
Come on in. It's time. Time to have some good conversation. You ready? Is you ready,
I,
Camellia?
I am ready.
Yes, we are
Am
ready,
I
you guys.
echoing?
Huh? You're not
You hear
echoing.
me echoing?
Uh-uh.
Oh,
Yep. So come on in, y'all. Share it out. Share it out. Because we know it's going down. It's about to what? Camellia, it's about to what?
it's about to go down.
Yes. So come on in. We have me, myself, I'm Pastor Elise, and here we have who?
Chameleon inspirations.
Yes. Who you with? Who you with?
Eleaseinspires radio.
Yes. Hey there, Alberta. Yes, thank you for joining us tonight. We have a really good topic, and we are ready to
Hey,
get this thing
Alberta.
going. Yes, we're ready to top this thing out. So, come on in. So, let me go ahead and set our little mood. We have a great topic, you guys. This topic was extended off of something that truly bothered me from social media. And I was going to show the person's face, but I don't have rights to that. So I'm going to let you guys hear the video. And I want you guys to join in and be a part of this conversation. I'm titling this Raising Our World. So before I play the video, I won't tell you who posted it, but I'll just let you hear the words from the video, and then we will start our conversation. But first, it's time for the percolator. No, I'm just kidding. It's time for us to have our opening word of inspirations, and we will go ahead and let Camellia kick it off.
Have ownership
Yes.
of your mistakes.
Yes.
And when you own your mistakes, you will learn how to get it right.
Yes.
So don't point fingers at others. Reevaluate yourself and pay attention to where you going wrong and make it okay. Nobody get it right the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But the more and more you apply yourself to get it right, you will pull that slingshot back and you will take off. So continue to examine yourself and don't allow other people to be at fault with your mistakes.
Yes. Yes. Good stuff. What I want to say is that none of us are perfect. We all have a position to learn. Not always do we have the position to be taught, though.
Yeah.
So when you are able to come afloat and you're able to stride, hit the strokes and make it, it's such a wonderful thing to just help others. And the way we help others is not to contaminate them, not to put maybe we had a terrible journey along the way. But what I'm learning in this life, and I want to share with you guys, is whatever I wasn't taught, whatever I missed, whatever I learned, whatever I can gain knowledge of, I'm willing to share from good to bad on a positive light. See, because when you operate according to God, God says the bad, he makes good. So there's no need for us. All of us have experienced some hurt and pain, some stuff that we didn't like. But we have to get to the point where we're not going to just drown ourselves in things that happen to us that we don't like. We can't sit up and blame people, even if we know who's at fault. We have to
Yes.
get a healing. We have to grow and go forward. And the best way that I know is to seek God. But
Yes.
you have to get to that place within yourself that God is who you choose to keep you afloat.
Yes.
So that's what I want to say. We're all experiencing something in this world, but we have to get in our rightful positions. And that's what our topic is, raising our world. So, the conversation triggered from a social media post that I ran across in my feed. And I want to share this with you guys. I want you to listen to it. It's about a 3 minute, but I want you guys, as parents, as millennials, as baby boomers, Gen X, millennials, and even some of you Gen Zs that are out there, I want you guys to share this out because this is very serious. So I'm gonna play this for you, and I want you guys to hear it. Wait, sorry.
So if you're a parent and you got children from the age of 16 up until the age of like 35, stop scrolling right now. I'm gonna give y'all a second. All right. Parents of millennials, you failed your children terribly. Y'all literally didn't teach your children shit. You didn't teach them about financial literacy. You didn't teach them the importance of becoming an adult and the reality of adulthood. And it's not peaches and cream. Y'all taught us irrelevant ass shit like doing chores and not being combative, always being a yes man, going out here to get a job, but not teaching us how to save money and how to budget our money, not teaching us the importance of paying bills, taxes. I could go on and on, but y'all sure didn't waste no time saying, I brought you into this world, I'll take you out. Y'all sure didn't waste no time saying, oh, I pay all the bills in this house, so you gonna listen to me. But listen, y'all wait till we turn 18 years old and then want to put us out and throw us to the wolves without teaching us the importance of becoming an adult. Just imagine for a second, if social media didn't exist, if the internet didn't exist, a lot of us would be broke as fuck, not knowing which way to go, what to do. You didn't build any generational wealth. We got the millennials that's doing that, putting y'all, the parents, in predicaments that you never put us in. Y'all didn't teach us the importance of college. Only thing you said is go to college, get a degree. But you didn't teach us the fact that those same loans that we had to go pay for college, we will be paying back for the rest of our fucking lives, being in debt for the rest of your life. And then you complain and you get upset when we don't know what the fuck to do. Because you didn't teach us shit. You didn't do shit. Y'all didn't set us up for success. You set us up for failure because your parents set you up for failure. Not to mention the mental and emotional trauma you put us through because you couldn't seem to find yourself. So you throwing your emotions off on us. Now we got to deal with it. But don't let you have grandkids, right? Then you seem to treat your grandkids better than you ever did your kids. That shit boggles my mind. It's crazy how y'all go and have children, us, and then expect us to help you pay your bills by the time we turn 16, 18 years old. You're still a teenager, literally. We didn't ask y'all to have us. Y'all had us. And God forbid you ask for a little bit of help. The economy is not the same as it was back in 2000s, 1990s. Half of y'all don't even know how to be parents. But then you always have something to say about how we parent our children. Shut up. It's a motherfucking cycle. And actually, I'm really tired of it. So if you listening and if you stop scrolling, take some goddamn advice. So if you're a people.
So, first of all, forgive me for all the cursing, but she was just being herself. She was being real about how she feels. And what I can see for her to make a post like that extends from how she was raised. I want to say this.
When you look at the generations, the baby boomers, you look at the Gen X, the millennials, as well as the Gen Zs. When you look at those ages and you look at the time frame and you look at like when computers came out, when data processing, when Google came about, just different things, when social media was like a hit, from a Atari to a Sega Genesis to a Xbox to a PlayStation. These are generational. And what I can say on the behalf of my people, my great grandmother, my grandmother, my mother, my father, my grandfather, my great grandfather, in those generations, if you were not taught certain things, then it was a learn as you go. In those generations, maybe sometimes we get a bad experience. Sometimes we're not born with, it's not even about the silver spoon. We're not born, with the right things that we say we need. But what I want to say is God knows why he allowed certain things. But just to hear this young lady, there's a blame game there. And we don't know her story. But I can't label my mom for what I feel I should have had. My mom shouldn't be able to label her mom. And my grandmother should not be able to label her mom. Because even if someone didn't give you all the essentials that you needed, as you grow and your mindsets, it should cause a triggering. But I get it before y'all start. Some of you guys, say, well, I didn't ask to be born in the ghetto. I didn't ask to be on welfare. I didn't ask to be molested. I didn't ask to not have. And granted, that's true. Nobody asks for things that, seem to be a downer or a failing in their life. So we're going to talk about this. We're going to break it down. I want to help you understand. I'm going to let Camelia just give her input, and I'm going to give you the years so you will understand what year does a baby boomer stand in. What year does a Gen X, a millennial, a Gen Z, where are they categorized at? And I want you to really look at it, that it's not just where a certain race say they missed out. I did my research. I saw Hispanic, and I saw Caucasian, and I saw Black. I didn't see African, but I saw Black American that said that they feel the same way that this young lady, So, Camelia, go ahead and just give your input. And audience, share it out and type in the comments what you feel about this. I can't hear you. Wait. Are you saying something? Say something.
You can hear me now?
Yeah.
When she said that it was generational,
Mm-hmm.
and that it was nothing her parents failed her because of her mother's parents.
Mm-hmm.
And when, like you said, is we have technology and everything now that we didn't have back then.
Mm-hmm.
So you have more access to things.
Right.
And how can a person teach you something that they don't know?
Right.
So all they can do is come to you and tell you to do chores and to help pay bills, so on, because that's how they were programmed.
Mm-hmm.
But when we sit back and we look at the mistakes, what we saw, well, it's first getting understanding.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get an understanding first. And when you sit back and listen to her, she understand where it came from, but she's angry in the process because it wasn't taught to her.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why she expressing her feelings about what she feel. But when you have that understanding of it being something generational, why point the fingers?
Mm. Okay.
We be so quick to point the fingers at someone to pretty much use it for the excuse of them being the cause of your failures.
Mm-hmm.
To get the blame off of you, to get the blame off of you. Because you don't want to look like the unworthy or worthless, or however, people will categorize you. So you want
Right.
to put the blame on somebody else because you don't want to feel that way. But the more and more, like you say, we learn as we go, sit back and pay attention, to what's going on around us. Mom didn't teach me this. So being that I wasn't taught this, I have to start doing things in a different way. But it is a learned thing, and you're not gonna come off right off top saying I need to learn how to do something better because you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're accustomed to what you're seeing and what you're hearing. So I mean everything is a learned thing.
Amen.
So being that it's a learned thing, this is what I'm learning at home. But when I'm available, I mean, and when you out there, when we young coming up, we out there in the streets. So you're gonna get
Mm-hmm.
available. You're gonna be available to different things.
That's true.
And that's how we learn it. We learn about a thing, about the people that we have encounter with, how they operate, and especially if they operate in a way that we didn't see happen, in a way that we didn't see.
Mm-hmm.
So we sitting back and we watching them and we learning. So we just have to start by owning up to our mistakes. Nobody get it right the first time. So it's just getting an understanding, of their situation. And when you understand their situation and they upcoming, you will rethink how you feel. And being that it's so much, like, we really don't know her story. So we really don't know what really led to to this level. Yeah, we hear what we saying, hear what she's saying, but it made her more available with the questions that she have, because now she have social media, these different platforms that's teaching this stuff, and that's what opened her eyes even more because it's available to her. Now she have these questions and she want to question the parents, and blaming them for their failure because they available to this stuff now.
Mm-hmm. When I was looking in some of her comments, and what one thing I do appreciate is that a lot there was like a mixture. Some agreed with her that their
Mm-hmm.
parents failed them, and some appreciated that as their parents learned, they taught them.
Mm-hmm.
Some opted out that no, that wasn't my life. I didn't live that way.
Yeah.
I I can truly say I didn't miss a beat. I wasn't I didn't miss it where my mom would just push me in and say, hey, sink or sail. Even me being a teenage pregnancy, that wasn't anything on the fault of my mother. That was the fault of me being disobedient, thinking that she was telling me something wrong. So I
Mhm.
wanted to test the water. Let me hold up for a minute. Alberta said we all have to learn how to accomplish things ourselves. People can tell us how to do things, but it don't mean we will do it right.
Yeah.
I was told how to do this and that, and I went the wrong way. So you're saying, Alberta, you went the wrong way because that's what you wanted to do. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Am I correct? And see, that's the same what I'm saying here. Here we have baby boomers. They're like 1946 to 1964. So they're born in a different time. They're born where you're learning, you're coming out of how the world was stressed, how some of the rights were just laying in foundation. You're coming out of a world that, it's a season where they're gypsies, a season where they're hippies,
Mhm.
a season where, you still got the prejudice, the racism, you got the privilege. Um, and the only way that you were granted a opportunity to further yourself, you had to meet those qualifications. This is where the world chose according to your race card, in what you would be acceptable in. But as I look back, I can truly say that not all parents. Now, we got parents for whatever reason. If they just didn't want to be a parent, if they just didn't want to to go to college, if they just wanted to be, a product of their neighborhood. We have people that's what happened. And maybe in the midst they had children and they neglected them. Yes, those cases are out there.
Mhm.
But when I hear this young lady, I'm sorry. I feel sad that she was not able to have all that she feels that she needs.
Mhm.
But here is the thing, you know, if she said all her parents said was go to school, to college,
Yeah.
do you know how many people didn't even have that opportunity to go to college?
Yeah.
She also gave credit to that if it hadn't have been for social media, they would be broke. That's not true. See, social media is available now and it opens up another opportunity, but that's how time is.
Yeah.
So computers, data processing came out, with the baby boomers, and it led into the Gen X generation. And so at that time, you have the baby boomers, they're getting older, and now the whizzes are now the Gen X. So then you have the Gen X that have a mindset of the millennials and the part of the Gen X. So it just keeps going. But as the world turns, we all
Mhm.
should get better. You get better in parenting, you get better in a skill set, you obtain more knowledge, and you
Yeah.
keep going. And now some people, by for whatever reason they may have, I just don't think a person in their right mind would not share valuable information for their seeds, their lineage to prosper.
Yeah.
But we do have generations that feel that it's a gimme, gimme, gimme.
Mhm.
Bible says that you work. You don't work, you don't
You
eat.
don't eat. Yes.
And a lot of times we want handouts. My mother said, go to college. She said, be all you can be. My mom said, get in there and study. I didn't like the whoopings, but I appreciate them as I sit and look. My mom disciplined me. My mom wasn't just child abusing me, she disciplined me when I would get disorder. The Bible said, don't spare the rod.
Yeah.
So I don't, when I look at that, it's because of that that makes me the woman I am. If she always taught about, I heard her say they didn't know about taxes. Well, it just seems that you have that set of parenting that maybe they didn't know about taxes. Maybe they didn't know about, maybe they didn't have the skill set or the people, the resources around them to gravitate to things like that.
Yeah.
This is going to be a good conversation. Let's get into it. I'm going to step away for one moment. I'll be right back. Hold it down.
Okay. We have to, it's so easy to blame someone, but we have to learn how to really examine ourselves, and don't be so quick to blame. Pay attention, to the thing. Pay attention. You see your mom, how your parents' upbringing was, or a family member, whoever, and you have to come to the conclusion that that's not how I want to be. I want my life to be different. So what can I do to make my life different? So we have to sit back and evaluate ourselves, pay attention to our mistakes. You can't keep making the same mistakes and making the same mistakes. If you're going to have to give it a different approach, because if you continue to keep doing the same thing, you're going to get the same results. If you do something different, you'll start seeing yourself prospering in areas, especially if you're doing something different for the betterment of you. You'll sit back and you'll watch your growth. You will see, okay, this way didn't work. So being that this way didn't work, let me try this way. So everything is we learn it as we go. So that's why we have to pay attention to the things that's working for us and the things that's not working. And once we sit back and we figure that out, that's where we have to sit back. Okay, what can I do? How can I get it right? How can I make my situation better than it is? How can I prosper in life? So we have to sit back and we have to ask ourselves those questions too. Because if we continue to keep pointing fingers at someone else, we're not going to be able to deal with our situation. So we have to continue to keep trying to figure it out. How can I do this right? Who can I talk to? Is it someone? I mean, I'm pretty sure we all have someone in our family or someone closer to us that can pour knowledge into us, but we have to be willing to want to listen and not think that we know everything and we don't want, oh, you too old school, there's nothing that you could tell me. We have to be willing to listen and receive what we can receive from that individual that's pouring knowledge into us, and do your homework. Do your homework behind it and see if whatever it is that this person is telling me, can it change my situation? Or if you feel that it's not information that you're looking for, it's okay to see. I mean, we have to put God before ourselves. So we have to learn how to seek him, build a relationship with him, because his word guides us. Whatever it is that we don't get from somebody that's closer to us, if we apply ourselves to the word, that's a platform right there that's going to guide us in the direction that we need to walk into.
Right. I was looking it up. So prior to the baby boomers, it says that there were traditionalists. They're loyal, they're strong, they're devoted, they're dependable.
Yeah.
Then there comes the baby boomers, such as like my mom, your mom. Then there comes me, the Gen X, and The Gen X, they range from the year of 1965 to the year of 1980. It says
Mm-hmm.
that we're entrepreneurs, we
Mm-hmm.
are self-sufficient, and we are work-life balanced. So if you look at the difference, as you see, the baby boomers, they focus. I
Yeah.
know, but they have focus, team
Yes.
structure, and then they discipline, and they have a strong work ethic. So if
And that's true.
anybody has a parent that was baby boomer, you got your tail beat. You got on
Mm-hmm.
punishment. And then when it came to us, the Gen X, you want better. It's not that you're in poverty. It's just that, oh, I know me. I'm not whooping my kids. I'm gonna have this. I want this. I want that. You become just like
Yeah.
they have it, self-sufficient, work-life balance, and focus. I was about that education, about going to work, about making sure that my kids had what they needed to have. Millennials, like our children, they are millennials. Their ages from 1981 to 1996. This generation, they say confident, but I say a lot of them are cocky. And
Yeah.
you guys have more of the computer. Now, us that work in the field where we deal with computers, we're going to
Mm-hmm.
be tech savvy. I work in a field. So I've been working 16 on up. So I have that
Yeah.
tech savvy. But that's why I say you can have a Gen X that's kind of sort of teeter-totting back and forth with a Gen X to a millennium.
Mm-hmm.
Millennium, you guys know the computer with your eyes closed. You're tech savvy. You have values and you have work-life balance. Some of
Yeah.
you, but I want to say this, in each generation, some of us went left. It's fair to say that some of us went left in the generations. We don't know why. It could be for many things. It could be because of drugs. It could be because this is too much. But if you look all the way up to, I would even say baby boomers,
Mm-hmm.
mother and father, you would most likely see a two-parent home.
Yeah.
When you look in my generation, it's iffy. You see it, you don't. You see it, you don't. When you look in the millennials, I see a lot of independence there. So some don't value that.
Yeah.
Some don't value that. And then, like, if they had a parent such as me as a Gen X, and there was not a two-parent there, it's nothing that they like really look forward to. But then let me back up because um I have friends that only had one parent. Their parent is a baby boomer, but they desired a two-parent home. So even though they didn't have that growing up, their mindset was, I'm going to do everything not to have a family out of wedlock. I'm going
Yeah.
to better myself. I'm going to look for resources. I'm going to take the opportunities to make sure that I have it laid out the way that I need to do it. See,
Mm-hmm.
because I can't sit up and blame my mom unless my mom had me hostage in a basement or somewhere, then I can fault her all day long.
Yeah.
I can't fault my mom if we were poor. Thank God we were not poor. I can't fault her for that. Now,
Yeah.
while I am a little innocent child, I need my mom to take care of me. But when
Mm-hmm.
I start, becoming wise, I have some very successful friends that they grew up in the low income housing and all that, and they are well to do. Well to do. When I say well to do. And their moms, their dads showed up when they wanted. Their moms partied like rock stars. Their moms did things, but that did not determine the person that they were going to be. Their moms never went to college. They are scholars in what they do.
Yeah.
Their moms didn't teach them about credit. See, it has to be your mindset where you're curious about those things.
And that's what it is, a mindset. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that when we go to school and all that, those things are there for us. When you get out in this world, it's all about you. You can go get a job somewhere and you can link up with somebody, and it's true, you attract what you are around. If all you know to do is hang on the corner,
That's what
then
we
your
do.
mindset will be the corner.
Yeah.
Not putting this young lady down, but I would just love to know the whole story. Alberta said some people use the social media like a real person. They take from the social media and apply to their life. But what they won't do is apply what a parent or guardian do. We've been hard-headed from day one.
Yeah.
I think the traditionalists, discipline was just the it. Even with baby boomers, I know my mom was a discipliner. I know I got my tail beat. I know that
too. I did too.
Yeah. And then I messed up because when I had my children, I was like, well, they're not getting whoopings. I think I felt like I had a lot of whoopings, enough for them. So it's to each his own. But one thing I still instilled in them, I want you to do the education. I want you to know my kids all will tell you. My mom, don't, even other kids that were not even, because I feel like this. I'm not just a parent to the kids that God gave me. I'm a parent to whoever wants to listen.
Yeah.
And especially when I see a child that maybe their parents are not paying attention. That's why, when it says the village, I don't just want my children to be successful. I want everybody. So I'm going to share it with them. I'm going to share it with them as well. This is what you should do. Now, you don't have to take my advice, but I'm going to show you need love. This is why I know that God allowed me to have the encouragement for you, so that I didn't want nobody, and you didn't have to be my child, but I didn't want them to be teenage moms like I was.
Yeah.
I had a village. Everybody won't have a village. Because in the seasons now, not only are the parents using drugs, you got the grandparents using drugs. The world is just in a whole new stage. But I will not give credit to say that the internet is who taught. Somewhere in there, the internet is a resource. So maybe you found resources. You can do this or you can do that.
Yeah. I mean, my mistakes taught me. I say my mistakes is what taught me. And making those, because you don't want to continue to keep making the same mistakes over and over and over. So when I got tired of making the same mistakes, I did something about it and I changed it. So it's us rethinking, how we do things to get it right. And it's how bad do you want it?
That's true.
If you came, if you came up a certain way, and that's not the way that you want to continue to live, you're going to continue to keep pushing and keep striving to do better, to allow yourself to become a better person. So you're going to continue to, do what you need to do, to renew your mind, or making yourself, more, educated in the areas that you need to be educated in, so you can walk into the directions you're trying to walk into. So we just have to continue to keep giving it a different approach and don't give up. Like I say, we're not gonna get it right the first time. It's just we have to be consistent and keep trying until we get it, and for things to fall in line how we want them to fall in line. It's a process. It's willing to do what we need to do and go through the process to watch it unfold for us.
Yeah. And something she said, you get a job and the parent takes your money. I think when a parent says you're gonna pay this, because that's, to me, in my house, it taught you how to be
Responsibility.
responsible.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna make you, hey, you gotta pay the rent. I know there are some people that have to get out there, and that's only because their parent may be on drugs, may be on alcohol, strung out on something. And I've heard where people have to get out there and they have to do whatever it takes to provide for shelter because, most likely the older child sees that his siblings or her siblings and they want them to be okay. But I I remember when my mom was like, "Okay, you're going to do this." And I think that's what it is when a parent steps in and they're not going to let you jag off your check. See, when I look at millennials, because I have 5 of them,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they try to, because they think you don't go work. That's not teaching them anything. They work, and then by the time they get home, their whole check is gone.
Yeah.
No, that's irresponsible.
Yeah.
You should teach them how to save. And see, when I had my children, it's now an opportunity for the Gen Zs, and that's to have a bank account at a young age. But
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't get a bank account when I was a teenager. That was the law. And then the millennials, they couldn't get one. So you're teaching them, put your money up, you know.
Yeah.
And I think what it is, it's structure.
And
It's
that's what
structure.
it is.
And a lot of people feel like you need to have a silver spoon. If you read the Bible, many of them, they were working in the fields. They were looking after the flock. They were sheep herders. They were, man, handsmaid, maid servants. They were all type of things. They had to
Mm.
work.
Yeah.
I just think that we're in a season where certain generations feel like you owe this to me. I didn't ask to be here. None of us, none of us asked to be
Thanks
here,
to
but
be here. Yeah.
at whatever point in time, God assigned you here.
Mm-hmm. And make
You
the
know,
best of it while you're here.
yeah. And I want to tell anybody out there that maybe you're having a hard time, pray and check resources at school. Check
Yeah.
neighborhood rec centers and stuff like that. Check the local church and stuff. Pray so you can be wise in your decision making. There's so much wrong stuff out here. You don't want to allow yourself to be caught up with the wrong person. If you feel that you are missing something at home, have you tried to talk to your parents if they are home? Have
Yeah.
we all have favorite teachers at school, hey, is there anything I want to learn about science? I want to learn about astronauts. I want to learn about radio. It's
Mm-hmm.
so many things. And you guys, millennials and Gen Zs, you have the windows open. I had to have, when I was going to school, for college, you needed a scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, the windows opened where you could just go
Yeah.
and get in there. But in the beginning, if your parents weren't rich, then that's what held you back.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were smart, you could get in there.
Yeah.
you know. And as far as loans, I'm gonna tell you, my daughters, they don't have all that baggage of student loans. And they didn't even need to take out. They probably owe what, 10,000 or so. Because I told my daughter, I said, I admire you. I admire you guys that you would use scholarships and grants that you would qualify for
Hmm.
to go to school. My daughter, my stepdaughter Jasmine, she had a scholarship for everything. She's a nurse practitioner to this day. She's a millennial. She's a young millennial. She's at the end of it.
Yeah.
She's at the end of it. And I want to say she may be at the top of the Gen Z. I
Hmm.
would say she's about 25, 25 or 26. Some, let me see. Yeah, she can't be no older than that. She's a nurse practitioner with a master's degree. Um, she is, and one thing about it, I made sure she's a part of me. So I made sure I told her about credit and stuff like that. You know,
Yeah.
and she was born in a west side of Chicago neighborhood, and she's well to do today.
Yeah.
So we cannot use, we can't, we have to take the crutch away. If there were things in my life that I did not like growing up, you know what I did? I made sure that I researched. You know, I saw
Yeah.
one of the ladies say, "You guys are computer babies. You guys think everything's on a computer." Yeah, I believe that as time goes, things are supposed to get better, more
Hmm.
sufficient. Whereas we as Gen X, we're self sufficient. But look, it's turning back around because the millennials, it says that they're just a confident, I say cocky and tech savvy, um, and they value the work life. I
Yeah.
think some of the millennials value the work life because a lot of the millennials will sit and they will settle. They won't even step out and be all that they can be. With the Gen X, that generation, man, they are self sufficient. They're repeating what the Gen X's did because when you look at the situations, and you know why I think they're self sufficient? Because a lot of these Gen Zs, they're being raised by the Gen X because
Yeah.
somewhere in the middle, the millennial checked out.
Mm.
Okay, let me keep it real. And so they're picking up the values, and I heard her say, we get our grandkids and we love them so much. To each his own. That's not my case because my children will tell you, I want the best for you. I will nag you until the day I leave this earth or you leave this earth about getting your life right with God and getting your life right so that you can move and have. God says He made this world for all of us,
Yeah.
and it's the land of the living. The world, you can be prosperous and fortunate. All you need is God. All you need to do is seek Him. All you need to do is be willing, and
Yeah.
man, He will add to you what you need. So, when I see us ranting and raving, and I see the parents that get offended, you know, I won't get offended. I will say this. I don't think the young lady wanted to like really bust her parents out, but that's where that extended. There was too much emotion there.
That's what
So
it
it
was.
it extended from that, whatever her and whoever her guardian is, and she posted it. And then that she said what a lot of other millennials would not say.
Yeah. That's true.
And some of the parents, they dummied themselves down. They were like, well, I didn't have that. Well, I was learning. I didn't know. I'm going to say this, once you bring a baby in this world, It's time to go. It's time to do what you need to do.
That's right.
And that was my mindset. My children did not ask for you to go and be a teenage mother. So now you need to do what it needs to do, what they need to. They don't need to be in the dark. They don't need the lights to go off on them. They don't
Mm-hmm.
they didn't need none of that. So I had to make sure that they were okay. And
Yeah.
again, I had a village. I had a village, and I thank God for that. And I knew how to call God, y'all. So
Yeah.
think if you can be in a house with where you only have could eat cereal every day, but God is always present providing you to eat cereal every day. And I just believe that as long as you know God and you have God in your heart and your mind, which means you have accepted his son and you are in a relationship, I believe that he will keep you, he will help you, he will guide you, he will give you what you need. But you got
Oh,
to be willing. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
You have to be willing, and that's how because I sit back and I think about my kids when they were younger,
Mm-hmm.
how they skip school. I
Mm-hmm.
would send them there, but they skipped school. And that was the mindset that they had because the environment that they were around.
Mm-hmm.
And to watch my son now and for him to come to me and ask questions now. He do have a certificate in welding.
Mm-hmm.
Which is he still trying to figure out if that's something he really want to do. So he's not walking in it, and I'm not going to force him because he had to make his own choice.
Mm-hmm.
But he do come to me now and he talked to me because he came to me about going in the military, the service, and he was
Mm-hmm.
like, if I don't find, a better job, I'm gonna end up going in the service.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have the certificate, for your welding. Why not pursue that, to see how things go with that? That ain't what I really want to do, because sometimes they just get out there, it being is, it can be somebody around them, talking them into taking up something that they really didn't want to take up.
Right.
And just to see him have questions, about certain things now, it just make me feel good to see the transitioning from skipping school to now you asking questions on how to further your life, so you can accomplish more.
Mm-hmm.
But he's still in his learning stage, he's still in his learning stage, trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to sit back and allow him to figure it out because I can't figure it out for him. I could give him directions, but he still had to figure it out on his own what do I really want to do, because I don't want him to get to the point of the blame game where mama, you said I need to do, how that goes,
Yeah.
it unfolds and now they blaming you because you say go in this field or that field. So, you just got to have an open mind, talk with them,
Mm-hmm.
allow them to keep their mind open,
Yeah.
and eventually they will fall in line, to do the things that they really want to do. And it's just figuring themselves out, just how we have to figure ourselves out.
Mm-hmm.
Learning about what we can do, or learning the things that we want to do. We learning who we are every day. We just got to be willing,
Yes.
to continue to learn who we are, who God created us to be from the beginning. So it's just, we just have to continue to be consistent with whatever it is you're doing. Continue to keep trying to figure you out. Continue to keep fighting to be a better you and don't settle.
So real quick, how do you think that we're raising our world? So traditionalists, they taught the baby boomers. The baby boomers taught the Gen X. The Gen
Mm-hmm.
X taught the millennials, and the millennials teach the Gen Zs. But in
Mm-hmm.
some cases, The baby boomers had to raise the Gen X. And in
Mm-hmm.
some cases, the Gen X had to no, the baby boomers had to raise the millennials, and in some cases, the Gen X had to raise the Gen Zs. So, how do we prosper so that we're raising our world that they will go right into the flow? Thank you for coming in. So how do we do that as we get ready to close out here?
Um, I mean, from examining ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
changing our view, on things from with our mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to walk in it. We have to be an example, to walk upright, in it. Continue to show them that, God's way is the best way.
Mm-hmm.
So continue to keep applying the word and allow them to understand it God's way. Because when you do it his way, it's always a great turnout, because you're removing yourself out the way and you allowing, that wisdom from that spirit to direct you. So
Yes.
we have to be the example. We have to make better decisions, and we have to own our mistake. We have to own our mistakes.
That's true.
In order we have it, that's the only way we will get it right is by owning up to those mistakes and making better choices.
So that's good because what you said just now, that is the way. Just asking a question. Well, how do you think we're failing? It's because we don't ask questions. We waiting for somebody to hand us out something. People are still talking about what 40 acres and a mule.
Yeah.
We're still playing the blame game. So while we got all this time to do all this, we're failing.
Yeah.
So you guys just heard Camellia say, in order to prosper, she gave you a whole thing. If you didn't catch it, go back and watch the replay and take
Stop
some
making
notes.
excuses. Stop making
Yep.
excuses. Because
Yes.
we deceive ourselves every day with the excuses that we make.
So
So
true.
we have to stop deceiving ourselves. Stop
Mhm.
coming up with stop making up all these excuses on why.
Yes.
And look at and touch on why not me. You
Mm.
know, because you can do it. It's out here for us all. So continue to have that open ear. Be willing to get information, from the people that's willing to pour into you with the right information. Don't sit back and judge them, about of how they came up, their upbringing. Sit back and listen to the message. And don't think about where they how they got where they at. I mean, if they got there in the right way. Sit back, get that knowledge, do your research behind the knowledge that's being given to you, and continue to keep striving to be a better you. You gonna fail. Don't give up because you failed. Continue to keep trying, keep climbing. You have consistency always head to a great outcome. You just have to be consistent. Just because you don't see those results now, don't mean that you're not gonna see those results later.
Yes. And, and so what I want to say, like, here's the thing: the dominant effect is if we all just keep moving forward,
Have to.
we go forward, we prosper. If we all sit back and wait, I'm not doing nothing until I get what I need, then the domino effect, we fall down. We
Yeah.
fall backwards. We choose the wrong road. We allow the roads, the stress of the world to harm us, which leads us to drugs, which
Yeah.
leads us to making a wrong decision, and that may land us in prison or dead,
Yeah.
which leads us to alcohol.
Yeah.
But if we go by the word that we're going to use for our foundation tonight is Proverbs 22:6, and it tells us to train the child the way
Should
the
go.
way they should go.
Yeah.
And so regardless if we are in the ghetto, at the top of the hill, in Taj Mahal, living on Manhattan Street, living on Lakeshore Drive, just living a good life, or maybe we're just regular people. We don't have it like that. But when you can sit it on the foundation of what thus says the Lord, and you teach them what the Bible says, I am one to believe that the windows of heaven will open for them.
Yeah.
Now, people will have a rebuttal to say, well, it didn't happen to me. But can you truly say that you were trained the way that you should go according to the Bible? See, I'm not talking about mix some of the world and mix some of God, but yet you got more of the world. God is not
Yeah.
into being competitive. Amen. God is not going
Amen.
to snatch you back and make you do anything. You got to keep
That's
your eyes open and your ears open and your eyes open so you
yeah.
can focus and pay attention. And when God
Yeah.
puts the right thing and the right people in your way, open up your mouth and speak.
Yes. Yes.
Ask questions.
Yeah.
And that's how we're going to win. So I pray that you guys, have heard this, and I pray that from whatever age group you are in, let's start pouring into one another. Let's want a better world for one another, a better place for one another. There's enough room on this earth for us to all win. For us
Yeah.
all.
Mhm.
Amen.
Amen.
I pray you guys enjoyed this. I am Pastor Elise, and
Camellia Inspirations.
we are Eleaseinspires Radio, where we have real talk. We are real people, and we talk about real situations, giving
Yeah.
out real solutions because we use real doctrine. Bye.
Yes.
Thank you, Camellia.
You're welcome. Have a great night.
See you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Night.
Good night.
Good night, dear. Love you. Thank you, guys.